YouTube, Urban Gun Reviews, and today's video is going to be a series that I titled Gun Stories. Alright, now the reason I call it that is because this series will just be stories about guns that I have had, used, or whatever I think is interesting. So the first story for gun stories is going to be the first firearm that I ever purchased. Now, I'm 35 now, I'll be 36 this year. The first firearm that I purchased, I think I was like 24, and it was just a random purchase. Like, I had thought about it for a while. I'm from Pittsburgh, so I was living in the hood, and I'm sitting there like, I'm going to work late nights and all times of day, a lot of shifty characters. I was catching a bus back and forth on places, so I kind of figured, it'd be better for me to have protection, while I'm out there, just in case anything happened.
This nigga's scared!
So, randomly, one day after work, I got paid, and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a gun. So I went to Wilkinsburg, which is in Pittsburgh, obviously, and it's I forget what the place is called. It's like this little gun shop, not even big. You probably drive past it if you didn't notice it. It does have like camouflage out on the outside of it. I caught the bus and went out there, and I was like, I'm gonna buy me a gun. So went to the store by myself, and I just shopped around, looked around, and something caught my eye, and I'm like, I like this. Now, what caught my eye, I held it, but like I said, this was my first real interaction with buying a firearm. So like, I didn't know, to do this or to check this or to, so I held it for like 3 seconds, and I'm like, I'm buying this, So the gun was a Smith & Wesson 45 ACP. Now, I know what most people think. You bought a Smith & Wesson 45 ACP as your first handgun. Now, like I said, I never fired a 45 ACP. I never really held one before that day or anything. So I just went in there raw and just bought this gun. Now, anybody who's held a 45, most likely that gun is a cannon. And by cannon, I mean really big, really loud, and it's like, it's not a concealed carry. It's not really a gun most people conceal. It's not like a 1911 or something like that. Like, this is a huge firearm. Now, the guy just sold me the gun, we did the paperwork, everything, did the background check on me, and in Pennsylvania, all you gotta do is do the background check and all that. Now, like I said, in Pennsylvania, you gotta, in order to carry, because I already had a license to carry, and in Pennsylvania, to get a license to carry, you just gotta go fill out the paperwork, wait 3 weeks, they send you a yellow card in the mail. When they send you a yellow card in the mail, that means that you were approved, that, they didn't find anything that would keep you from owning a firearm and carrying a firearm legally. So once you get the yellow card in the mail, you go down to the gun center, which is like in that court building or something like that, and they give you a photo ID, take a photo ID. So, real simple process. 3 weeks it takes to get your yellow card and all that. So I already had my license to carry when I went and bought my firearm. So I go home, I'm on the bus, riding the bus back home with this gun on me. And like, I'm so excited because I'm like, this is my first gun I ever had. I really didn't know much about pistols, because I wasn't really raised around guns, I held them every now and again, but I never really like went out and was shooting guns and all that type of stuff, not too much, So I get it home, and I'm just like, oh, and I'm just playing around with it and sitting in the kitchen, and it was like, it was a good experience for me. But now looking back, all these years ago, and I'm like, wow, like I went out and just spontaneously bought this hand cannon. And like, I literally carried this gun everywhere. Like, I used to work in a hotel, and I carried a gun into work, because I needed it from travel from work to home. So like, even though we had a no firearm policy in the building, but I kept it in my bag, you know what I mean, and put it in my locker when I was spraying. Nobody like went in my locker and took it or anything like that, even though it had a lock on it, but you never know.
What do you mean by that?
But you know, I had this gun for a while, a few years, probably like 3 years, maybe like 5 years, something like that. I had it for a while, and then I ended up selling it to somebody legally in the gun store. You know what I mean? I sold it because it was just too big. You know what I mean? And I didn't like carrying it, like, because you know I would carry it in my waistband, and it's just not comfortable to carry. But looking back, I should have probably kept it and just left it in the crib as a home defense weapon. But I wasn't thinking back then, and so I just got rid of it. But this video really is just for instructional purposes. So just to tell people that when you buying your first firearm, to ask questions, to get a feel for the firearm. Go with somebody. You know what I mean? Don't go alone. Go with somebody who has some knowledge of firearms. If you can't find anybody who has knowledge of firearms, then definitely ask questions to whoever's selling you the firearm. You know what I mean? Of course, legally. So ask them a whole lot of questions. You know what I mean? Like, use the gun. They should be able to crack open a holster or something so you could use it in a couple of different ways, as far as putting it in your holster and carrying it on you if you plan on carrying it. So just ask questions. I was like super nervous when I went in. I didn't know what I wanted. I had no idea what I wanted, and I had no idea what I was doing there. I just knew I was going to leave home with a gun. And I forgot to tell y'all the price. I paid, it was like $600 for this gun, brand new and everything. So that's my gun story, and this is the first series in gun stories. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and tell me your first gun story. You know what I mean? Leave it in the comment section. And we out.